All right, finally time for the game to start.
Toss, they've elected to receive, and off we go.
Perfect timing.
And here comes Kyle Middlebrooks with a seam, and Middlebrooks with a cutback up to the 49.
Time to sit back, relax, and enjoy a good game.
Position to begin this thing.
Man, 11:30 already? The game just started.
First touch of the half for Buck Allen. Off the left side, shut down.
Should be fine. Shouldn't go on too much longer.
Safety spot, Jordan Simone, who's already got 10 tackles.
So if I go to bed at 1, should give me like 4 hours of sleep before work.
Throws into the vacated area for Rodgers and a first down. Kessler to the short side.
Man, this is going on a little bit later than I thought. Might have to rest my eyes for a second.
Loads up. Heaving one deep, and it is caught! Jalen Strong! Do you believe it? Arizona State wins on a Hail Mary!
Oh, you have got to be kidding me. All right, I hope you guys liked that attempt at a skit. It was kind of stupid, but just wanted to try something new. Now, the real point of this video is that I recently moved from Arizona to North Carolina, and so far it's been awesome. It has beautiful beaches, even better than on the West Coast in my opinion. The Appalachian Mountains on the western part of the state. Pretty much anything you can ask for is just a couple hours away. But if you haven't noticed from the channel already, I am a huge sports fan, and watching sports on the East Coast sucks, in my opinion. Now, this is obviously going to be different for a lot of people, and not everyone is going to share my opinion for a whole number of reasons, but it did get me thinking, what is the best time zone for a sports fan? Of course, there's no definitive scientific answer, but I did narrow it down to about 4 factors. And obviously this list is not exhaustive, so let me know down in the comments which time zone you prefer to live in for your sports viewing pleasure. Number 1 is occupation. Now, some of you might be self-employed with all the time in the world to do whatever you want, watch any game you want, but most of us have 9-to-5s or normal day jobs. I personally work a varying work schedule. Sometimes I'm up at the crack of dawn, sometimes I'm working through the night. But if you're someone who has to get up early for work, you may want to consider moving to the West Coast. Most of the games get done around 10 o'clock, and you're not waiting up all hours of the night for that overtime football game to get over. If you work a traditional 9-to-5, Monday through Friday, then really the East Coast is tailored for you. Now, those over in the West, not so much. Now, the second factor being, what is your favorite team? Now, me being born and raised out west, most of the teams I cheer for are going to be playing out in the western part of the country. Now, obviously these teams make trips out west, trips out east, but most of the time I'm waiting till 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night just for kickoff. And these are the games that I've been waiting all day to watch. And when I have to get up early the next morning, that's very difficult. And that kind of ties into the third point, which is, what is your favorite sport? So I've been living in the Eastern time zone for almost a year now, and so far the hardest sports to catch have been college football, NBA, and college basketball. College football personally being the hardest, just because that's my favorite sport, and a lot of the teams that I really want to watch play in those very late windows. You'll have games that go well past 1 a.m. and if overtime happens, which it did last year for me a number of times, you might even be pushing 2 a.m. till this game's over. Now, the NFL isn't quite as bad. It's mostly tailored for the East Coast with the primetime game starting at about 7 p.m. So haven't really had too many complaints about that. And I guess if you're a Premier League fan in England, it's best to be on the East Coast. It's not really a priority to me, but everyone's different. And the fourth factor is really just personal preference. Some people are night people, some people are morning people. I personally consider myself a night person. I like to get most of my work done at night, but I really don't have a problem getting up at 9 or 10 a.m. to catch a football game. In fact, for me, rolling out of bed with first thing on the docket being breakfast and some football, that sounds pretty awesome to me. But I hear the argument that people like to enjoy games at bars or have a drink, and it's a little bit too early for all that. To me, that's not a huge deal because I usually like to watch the games from the couch anyways, but to each their own. So boiling it down to the actual best time zone to watch sports, either coast I think is going to be a little bit much. You're either going to be up way too late or up way too early for some of these games. The Goldilocks area is going to be somewhere in the middle. So we're talking central or mountain time. I'm personally going to go with mountain time because I'm biased and that's where I grew up, but it does give you those 10 a.m. starts for college football. NFL's done by around 9 or 10 o'clock. You don't have to get up too early for these games and you don't have to stay up too late. But in my opinion, either mountain or central is a lot better than East Coast or West Coast. Now I realize this video doesn't have too much of a point. It was just on my mind recently and I wanted to talk about it. But if for some reason you came onto YouTube looking for a video to tell you exactly where to live based solely on your sports viewing experience, I hope this helped. Anyways, see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Wow.